Good afternoon, good morning, and welcome to the AI-driven Employment Services Global Summit, hosted by the Korean Employment Information Service. My name is Miguel Peromingo. I'm a consultant for employment services working in the field of particularly public employment services for almost 25 years. And I have the honor to be your moderator today and guide you through this set of presentations that we share internationally. We have presentations from different countries that will give an insight on how AI and algorithms, advanced technology in general, is used in employability services. Employability services are services with humans, so AI can only be a complementary to that, but it's a very strong and powerful complementary. It can help make the services better. It can help make human AI interaction an interesting and powerful tool to help people. And it can help also make the actual delivery of the services, the staff who's delivering, can help them deliver a better service. And it can also increase the insights and the visions of how the labor market is developing and how it can become a better labor market. And we will have experiences and data about this that is kindly shared by our presenters. Before we share international practices, it's my honor to give the word to the president of KEIS, Mr. Chang Song Lee, for some opening words. Mr. Lee, Dr. Lee, please, the floor is yours.
반갑습니다, 여러분. 이렇게 화면으로 온라인에서 이렇게 함께 해주시니까 또 아주 좀 색다른 반가움이 있는 것 같고요. 이렇게 함께 해주셔가지고 진심으로 감사를 드립니다. 오늘 우리는 그 AI 기반 고용 서비스의 미래라는 중요한 주제로 대한민국, 벨기에, 에스토니아의 전문가들이 함께 자리를 했습니다. 그 전 세계가 디지털 전환과 인공지능 기술의 급격한 발전을 경험하고 있는 이 시점에 고용 서비스 분야에서 AI를 어떻게 활용하고 있는지 서로의 경험과 혁신 사례를 공유하는 것은 매우 시의적절하고 의미 있는 일이라고 생각을 합니다. 한국고용정보원은 대한민국 고용노동부 산하 준정부기관으로서 국민들에게 양질의 고용 서비스를 제공하기 위해 끊임없이 노력을 해왔습니다. 특히 최근 몇 년간 AI와 빅데이터 기술을 활용하여 구직자 개개인의 특성과 역량에 맞는 맞춤형 일자리를 추천하고 기업에는 최적의 인재를 매칭하는 서비스를 고도화해 왔습니다. 또한 세계 고용 서비스 기구의 아시아 태평양 부의장국으로서 국제 고용 서비스 협력을 주도하며 각국의 우수 사례를 공유하고 함께 성장하는 데 앞장서고 있습니다. 오늘 한사에서는 벨기에 플랑드르 공공고용 서비스 기관인 VIAP AI 혁신 여정과 에스토니아가 머신러닝 기반의 상담사 지원 도구를 통해 어떤 성과를 거두고 있는지, 그리고 우리나라에서는 공공과 민간 영역이 어떻게 협력하여 AI 기반 채용 생태계를 구축하고 있는지를 함께 살펴보게 될 것입니다. 각국의 다양한 접근 방식과 기술적 성과들이 우리 모두에게 귀중한 인사이트와 영감을 줄 것으로 확신합니다. AI 기술은 분명히 고용 서비스의 효율성과 정확성을 높이는 강력한 도구입니다. 그러나 우리의 기술이 사람을 대체하는 것이 아니라 사람을 돕고 좀 더 나은 서비스를 제공하기 위한 수단임을 항상 기억해야 합니다. 오늘 이 자리가 기술과 인간 중심의 가치가 조화롭게 결합된 미래의 고용 서비스의 방향을 함께 모색하는 의미 있는 시간이 되기를 바랍니다. 바쁘신 가운데서도 귀한 시간을 내시어 참석해 주신 모든 발표자와 참가자 여러분께 다시 한번 깊은 감사를 드리며 오늘 서밋이 성공적으로 진행되기를 기원합니다. 대단히 감사합니다.
Thank you very much, President Lee, for setting the scene. And I would like to move over to our presentations. We have public employment services have been using AI for a while now. There's quite a spectrum of what they're using it for. Most obviously, it's an improvement of the matching algorithms that are used to bring job seekers and vacancies together. On a more granular level, you can do more things with it. So we will hear about this. And it also is used, of course, to come up with AI agents that can interact with the job seekers, also with the employers, and can help build things like CVs or vacancies. So this is a very helpful way of making the service better. But of course, if the service has had any process issues before, AI will not make that better. AI is not a fixer of things. AI is an enhancer of things. So services and strategies need to be in place before AI is used for it. And I think the examples we're hearing today are very good showcases of how you first think about the strategy and then you go over to use the technology instead of the other way around. One of the forerunners in this approach is WantedLab. This is the Flemish PES. In Belgium, there are different public employment services. One of them from the Flemish part of Belgium is WantedLab, and they are one of the pioneers, I'd say, of using advanced technology. And we will see a presentation by Hassan Nayafabadi, who is the coordinator for research and development at the Flemish Public Employment Service. He leads a multidisciplinary team of experts with specific focus on AI, but also digital matching and privacy. He has a strong background in project management, and he's specialized in bridging the gap between the high-level innovation strategies on the executive level and the operational reality. So what people that are really working with the clients and use technology are facing on a day-to-day basis. And like that, he's ensuring that the AI initiatives are not only technically sound and fancy, but also effectively optimize the services for the job seekers, but also for the staff and the employers that are using the services of the Public Employment Service. Hassan, please, it's your time for the presentation. Thank you.
Do you see my screen?
Yes, we do.
Okay, thank you, Miguel. Hello, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here virtually. I'd like to begin by extending my sincere thanks to KEIS, the Korea Employment Information Service, for organizing this excellent webinar and for the invitation to share WantedLab's work on artificial intelligence. My name is Hassan Nayafabadi, and I'm here on behalf of WantedLab, the Flemish Public Employment Service. Today, I will be discussing our journey with AI, focusing on innovation, our approach to generative AI, and the critical importance of ethics and governance. We have three main topics for today. First, I'll walk you through the journey of AI at WantedLab and how we've scaled our capabilities. Second, we'll dive into our current Gen AI approach, which is a major focus right now. And finally, I will cover the establishment of our Ethics Council and AI governance framework, which underpins all our AI efforts. Let's start with our journey. Our commitment to AI has been a journey of growth. In 2016, we started with an innovation lab staffed by just 3 engineers. Over the past 9 years, this has evolved significantly. In 2025, we have established AI Center of Excellence with a mature team of over 30 professionals. As you can see on the right, the structure includes 14 data scientists, 12 data and tech engineers, and 8 project managers in the INT department. Crucially, we bridge the gap between the technical and the business role, involving AI translators, product owners, and business experts from the R&D, or the development of employment services. This cross-functional structure is key to ensuring that our AI initiatives truly serve our core business needs. Our AI efforts are guided by a clear vision and mission. Our vision is to integrate AI as a strategic pillar to provide the highest possible quality and efficient services for citizens, job seekers, employers, and employees. Specifically, we use AI to support and improve various core tasks, enhance the quality of our customer services, and increase internal effectiveness and efficiency. Mission of the AI Center of Excellence is realized through the 5 pillars: identifying AI opportunities, experimenting with AI and developing solutions, defining and rolling out AI governance, communicating and raising AI awareness, increasing AI adoption, and ensuring its responsible use. This timeline demonstrates the rapid scaling of our AI realizations. We started in 2018 with just a few initial production applications, such as Chance of Work. By 2020, we had expanded to 8 production-ready realizations, adding tools like JobReach and Orient. The growth continued, reaching 14 realization in 21 and 19 in 2022. In 2023, we hit 23 production-ready realizations, incorporating advanced tools like the CV scanner and multiple new bias analysis for various APIs. In 24, 26 production-ready realizations, including development of Knowledge System Copilot and the Training Suggestions API. And today in 25, we have 28 production-ready models. This continuous expansion highlights our commitment to embedding AI deep within our employment services. Now let's move on to our approach to generative AI. The context is clear. Gen AI applications are becoming widespread accessible and hold great potential. We know that many of our employees are already experimenting with these technologies under the radar. However, we must recognize that using this technology also comes with significant risk. This brings us to a critical decision point. Should we focus on strict regulation or on educating our staff? At Variable, we chose to focus on both to ensure responsible use. We are equipping our personnel with the necessary knowledge for responsible use. Our internet page provides clear guidance on how to handle generative AI. Key principles for our employees include getting approval first. Second, protecting sensitive data, always critically assessing the result. And fourth, being transparent about its use. We emphasize that generative AI is focused on generating new content like text, images, or audio based on large amount of existing data. And crucially, we advise everyone to remain very cautious for the time being. To drive the Gen AI transformations, we have launched the Gen AI Impact Factory. The Impact Factory is a task force designed to facilitate and accelerate our Gen AI transformation. Its ultimate aim is to perform various core tasks more efficiently and effectively. As a cross-functional team, it leads the transformation by identifying and prioritizing Gen AI opportunities, maintaining a view of Gen AI use across the entire organization, increasing Gen AI literacy, training and promoting responsible use, overseeing governance and compliance, creating synergies, and sharing best practices. The Impact Factory is a cross-functional team coordinated by 2 key departments: the AI Center of Excellence, which provides expertise in developing and governing AI applications, and Organizational Development, or in Dutch, O&O, which brings expertise in organizational development, networks, and change management. It includes multidisciplinary representation from across the entire organization. The team members have specific responsibilities. For example, members are the spoke, single person of contact, and promoter of Gen AI within their department, monitor training needs, and identifying scalable opportunities. Key coordinating roles include the AI Center of Excellence and O&O, who drive ownership and guide sustainable change. Communication and marketing handles internal and external communication. And the Department of Research and Development, where I'm coming from, plays a crucial role via AI translators in boosting Gen AI literacy. Central to our approach is comprehensive training and support. We offer both general and client-facing training. For our employees, we offer a specific training like the generative AI for VideoBit employees, which has had 785 participants. We also mandate tasks like reading the internet guidelines for responsible use and watching videos with colleagues' testimonials. For our clients, we have courses like the web course on artificial intelligence and a workshop on learning to know generative AI. We realize that simply offering training isn't enough. The challenge is that less digitally skilled colleagues need different support. Our approach is to move toward tailor-made support driven by active research. That's why we developed AI personas like the tech enthusiast Elias or the absent Agnes based on the IMEC Digimeter 2024 report. By researching support needs per persona, our objective is to increase efficiency through the use of Gen AI across all staff. This illustrates the wide range of possibilities that we are exploring. I'd like now to share our specific work with Google Gemini. Our motivation for selecting a tool like Google Gemini was simple. There was an organizational need for a generative AI chat function to handle common tasks. However, we needed to address the inherent security and GDPR risks of free consumer versions like the ChatGPT. These versions are not safe from a GDPR and security point of view. We ran a pilot from May to August 24 with approximately 100 users. The objective was to determine two things. First, if Gemini could support common tasks like writing emails, creating summaries, and formatting documents. And second, if it could provide an improvement in quality and efficiency for our people. To interpret the pilot correctly, we established meaningful, smart success criteria across 8 topics. These range from measuring the use of Gemini and the quality of the output to the crucial metrics of increased efficiency, time saving, and even softer criteria like increased mental peace. Our criteria was precise. For example, for increased efficiency, the goal was a time saving of between 1 and 30 minutes per day, with the relevance being more time for more complex tasks, interactions with our clients, vulnerable clients. For Net Promoter Score, our objective was a score of 0 or higher. The results of this pilot were positive and led directly to the next step. Following the successful pilot, we rolled out Google Gemini to more than 5,000 employees. Crucially, the deployment was done in a secure environment, mitigating the initial security and GDPR risks we identified. Adoption is key. We communicated that since January 3rd, 2025, to everyone at VideoBit that has access to Gemini, Google's AI assistant. The version we use is linked to the Google Workspace and is secured against privacy leaks. Gemini helps by increasing efficiency, by reducing time spent on repetitive tasks, stimulating creativity by helping explore new ideas and innovative solutions, and providing an AI colleague, always ready to help. Our adoption strategy involves a strong communication campaign, including newsletters and news items. We also rolled out 2 main trainings, Getting Started with Gemini 1 and Gemini Advanced, with the combined participation of over 950 people. Finally, we run a monthly webinar on Gemini that has been very popular. We also created a dedicated Gemini website with an FAQ, links to the trainings, and a prompt of the month to inspire the use. A core feature is our prompt guide or database with reusable prompts. And critically, we foster a network of Gemini ambassadors, Gemini enthusiasts who help their colleagues and drive spontaneous initiatives like the prompt database. Beyond the internal rollout of Gemini, we are actively developing our own Gen AI applications. One key development is the knowledge system copilot for the counselor. This copilot provides an intuitive interaction with data using an LLM chatbot. It draws information from multiple sources, including internet guidelines, FAQs, and other internal documents. This aims to quickly provide counselors with the right answers based on VideaBiz's trusted information. Another future development is the virtual assistant for the counselor. In a face-to-face setting, the assistant will provide automated transcription and interpretation of conversations. Crucially, it will handle privacy and confidentiality by removing sensitive context. The assistant will also provide standardized summaries, search previous conversations, and suggest appropriate actions, and even translate non-Dutch conversations. Finally, we are developing an AI-based job application coach. This tool will compare a client's CV against a vacancy. It will use an LLM prompted by VideaB expert information to generate a list of tips for improving the CV. Guardrails are essential here, ensuring the protection of the client and VideaB data. This brings us to our final and perhaps most important pillar, ethics and governance. We are constantly focused on addressing the core risks inherent in AI, such as bias, accuracy, privacy, explainability, and ensuring sustainability. In 2022, VideaB took a pioneering step and established Belgium's first ethics council on the use of data and AI. We fundamentally believe that trust is key to realizing any business impact with AI. The AI Ethics Council provides independent advice and functions as a sounding board for VideaB, working on behalf of the board of directors. It consists of 5 external and 3 internal subject matter experts from diverse domains. They advise on ethical issues related to AI, profiling, and automated decision-making. Key outcomes are that VideaB is considered a leader and example regarding AI, having 28 solutions in production and comprehensive AI governance and risk management framework. Our governance is guided by the EU AI Act, the first ever legal framework for AI, which takes a risk-based approach. It categorizes AI systems into 4 risk levels: minimal, limited risk, high risk, and unacceptable risk. Due to the nature of our work, VideaB proactively approaches all AI systems as high risk. Services such as employment and vocational training easily fall within the EU AI Act's high-risk use cases. This ensures that we maintain the highest standards of data governance, transparency, human oversight, and cybersecurity for every AI system we deploy. AI governance is the set of procedures and policies ensuring our AI systems are developed and used in a responsible, transparent, and fair manner. That's because to increase service quality and customer satisfaction, to stimulate innovation by balancing governance and flexibility, to accelerate development through clear, streamlined processes, to increase trust and enhance AI adoption, and of course to ensure compliance with the AI Act and other regulations. Our governance is a structured framework driven by the AI Center of Excellence from the INT, covering the entire AI system lifecycle. The key building blocks here include establishing roles and responsibilities, defining processes, and creating an AI governance policy and mapping out AI Act requirements. This ensures that every AI project, from initial idea to deployment, follows a documented, risk-managed, and ethically approved path. That's my presentation. Thank you for your time and attention. I hope this overview of VideaBiz's AI journey and approach to Gen AI and our commitment to ethical governance has been insightful. We believe that AI must be developed responsibly to truly serve the public employment mission.
Thank you very much, Hassan. That was a great, very comprehensive overview of what you're doing on different levels, on the technological level, on the level of governance and strategy, and also, and most importantly, maybe on the human level by addressing questions of trust and also the notion of not leaving anybody behind for example, by helping people with their literacy of using those tools. If I can have a very quick questions, you mentioned AI personas, which sounded interesting. Can you maybe say 1 or 2 sentences of what this is actually about, what you're using it for? You're on mute. Yeah.
Yes, with the personas, we try to find out categories of our employees and to find out who is digitally skilled and who is not. Based on personas, we can tailor-make training available for our employees. So we take more time for less digitally, as I call the absent Agnes in a way, less digitally skilled colleagues can take more training or get more training needed than the savvy colleagues who are already using AI in their daily work. So through the personas, we can identify the needs. And so that helps us to create whatever possible as training and guidelines to help our colleagues basically integrate AI into their daily work as well.
Okay, thank you very much. We will be sharing presentations with the audience after the event. So before I go to our next speaker, just let me indicate and encourage you to ask questions also. There is a chat function at the bottom of your screen. If you click on there, you can write questions and I will pick them up for a round of questions after the presentations. Our second presenter is from the small and very beautiful country, Estonia, a country that is highly digitalized and through that has a digital mindset, at least from my external point of view. Whenever I was in Estonia, I had the feeling that people are very comfortable with using digital tools. That makes also the use of AI easier. And Trin Kravi, who is the IT development advisor at the Estonian PES, is going to present how the public employment service is using it also in their internal work and how it prepares decisions for advisors. So a real basic human AI interaction, which is underlying for the work of the public employment services. Trin started as a quality manager at the public employment service, and since 2022, she is an IT development advisor, and within that, responsible for managing IT development and data science projects. And you, Trin, you have a master from the University of Tartu, a master in IT. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I will share my screen. Can you see it correctly? Sorry?
Yes, it's visible. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Thank you.
Well.
So, thank you very much. I will present an AI tool that we are using in our organization. It's called Decision Support Tool. And coming to our country and organization, we are a very small country. We have 1.3 million people here. And our public employment service doesn't belong under any ministry, but our highest governing body is Tripartite Supervisory Board, where are representatives from the government side, employers' unions, and also trade unions. Our biggest clients are, of course, job seekers and employers, but we also provide services to people who are already employed and young people and students. And what do? We provide counseling and different active labor market measures to help job seekers to find a job and employers to find employees. We also pay out different benefits and allowances, and we provide career counseling throughout people's lives, starting from the school children until retired people. And different skills development services are also offered by us. so people can acquire new skills. And workability assessment is also our responsibility. And we are small compared to some other countries, only over 800 employees, but we provide services all over Estonia. And now coming to this decision support tool, what was the problem we tried to solve is that we have a very individual approach when coming to counseling job seekers. So when a person comes to us and registers as unemployed, our counselor will analyze this person's strengths, potentials, also obstacles that prevent them to return to the labor market. And based on this analysis, we provide different services to them. So we have continuous inflow of new job seekers. Some of them will find the job easily by themselves, but some of our customers will need intensive counseling by our counselors. We have a lot of data about our clients as well. The data comes from our own data warehouse, but we retrieve data also from different state registers. So when a customer comes, the counselors have a lot of data to analyze, and this analysis takes time to decide what to do exactly with this specific job seeker. And it could cause this kind of problems that we provide excessive support to those people who might have found job in any case, and maybe we don't provide enough support, or we notice too late if some individuals will need extra guidance from our side. And that resulted developing this decision support tool that our counselors use and helps them to make decisions quicker. So this is an AI machine learning tool using gradient boosting. We train the model quarterly by inserting 5 years data about unemployed. And when a person registers as unemployed in our organization, on the 35th day, each newly registered job seeker will receive assessment by the model. And this model gives out 3 outputs. It shows what is the probability of moving into employment within 180 days, what is the probability of returning into unemployment within 1 year, and also what are the top 10 factors that affect these probabilities. We use approximately 40 different data points in this model right now. Most of the data is about the job seeker, the background, the socio-demographic data, also what has been the previous employment and unemployment data, what kind of monetary benefits this person has received, if this person has workability assessment results, and other risk factors. Also, language and digital skill information is put into this model. And we use also some of the labor market data. What is the overall inflow into unemployment currently, and the number of vacancies in this area that correspond to this job seeker's job wish. And we have integrated this model in our everyday counseling process and also in our IT systems. So this is the view that our counselors sees when they are working with a client. It shows the results of this model assessment. what is the probability of moving into employment, what is this risk level, and we use also this different color codes so our counselors can see very quickly and understand the results as well. And they can also check further what are the top 10 factors that affect this person's probabilities and whether these factors decrease or increase the probability of moving into employment. This previous slide showed what was the view when our counselor worked with one client, but we have created for our counselors in our data warehouse also this kind of dashboard where they can see their whole portfolio of clients. So in this matrix, this rectangle represents the one client of this counselor's portfolio. And by clicking on the rectangle, you can see what this client, what kind of scores they have, and also what kind of probabilities affect these scores. Counselors also get very good overview how is this his or her portfolio distributed by the risk levels, so they can see also this overview from this dashboard. The similar dashboard is created also for the team leaders or chief consultants, as we call them, and they can see their team's clients' portfolios by risk levels, and this helps the managers to redistribute the clients between counselors. So this customers have fair and equal portfolios as well. So the one counselor doesn't have to work only with very difficult customers, but we want to have a fair share of clients between counselors. Now, coming to the benefits, what this model gives to the counselors. Firstly, they can help them to choose what is the best support channel for this specific clients. We have different options. They can choose online counseling, phone counseling, or face-to-face counseling. So in our experience, when the person has a very low probability of moving into employment within 6 months, it's more beneficial to have more face-to-face meetings. They can also decide how frequently they contact with the clients. In Estonia, it's mandatory to have a counseling session at least once in 30 days. But if they can see that this person needs more help from us, they can do it more frequently. This model also helps them to notice what are the most important factors that affect these clients' job-seeking journey. And based on that, they can decide any possible interventions they want to give to the client, what kind of active labor market services they would like to provide. And then in this data warehouse dashboard, the counselors can get very good overview of their whole portfolio and the risk levels of their clients. And based on that, they can also plan their schedules and workload, which applies also to the managers. But what is important to mention is that the decision support tool has only supporting role to the counselor, and no decision is done solely based on the model output. So the counselor has the final say because our model is quite accurate, but it's not perfect. For that, we also collect feedback from the counselors. It is mandatory right now that the counselor has to give us feedback, and it's also very conveniently they can do it in our IT system. And what do they tell us is that what do they think about the model output? Do they think the probability of moving into employment, is it adequate, or is it too optimistic or too pessimistic? And if they don't say that they don't agree with this, it's not adequate by them, then they have to also tell us why do they think the model is not accurate enough. And we have collected and summarized the feedback. The most important factor that is brought out is the health factor. We cannot use health data in our model because we don't have it and it's not allowed to use, but it affects very much the probability of moving into employment. Our client could have very good background, and based on that, the model could say that they have very high probability of moving into employment. But if this person has very serious health problems right now, it definitely will affect the probability. And the second thing is the motivation of the client, which we tried to improve recently. We now have added one new thing in the model. This person creates self-assessment also and gives us their own assessment whether they think that they will move into employment. So this new thing is added to the model to grab also this motivation into the model. And as I mentioned, the model results are quite accurate. It's a little bit overestimated when the probability of moving into employment is low and underestimating when the probability is higher. But basically, if the model says that one group of people have 50% of probability of moving into employment within 6 months, then 50% of this group will actually return to labor market. And some lessons learned when we have been implementing this model. Firstly, we created the model and gave it to the counselors, and then asked their feedback and learned that the knowledge about that was quite patchy, and this user manual that we provided was not enough. So we realized that we need very practical trainings for the counselors. So we had them in every region so they could discuss and do very practical exercises using this model. The second big learning point was that when we implemented the model, we had also very big other IT system change. So the focus was more in this other change, and this new AI model didn't get enough attention. So for the future, we will try to plan more carefully when we implement some new things in our processes. Also, experienced counselors were hesitant about using this model. They said that I am very experienced, I can understand and read the client very well, so I don't need this kind of help from the machine. But we, with these trainings and discussions with our counselors, that helps to break also the bias of experienced counselors. And the last thing is that we realized that this static model that gives the prediction only once during the unemployment period is not enough. And currently we are developing new dynamic model that will re-evaluate or get a new assessment regularly when a person is registered as unemployed. So it will then take into account also this information that we have about the customer during the unemployment time. So this thing is currently under development, and we are hoping to implement it at the beginning of next year. So thank you. This is all from our side, and I am willing to answer any of your questions if you have any. Thank you.
Thank you, Triin. That's, I think, a very good example of how complex it is to bring humans and machines together, how well it can work, but what obstacles you can encounter on the way. You mentioned that the more experienced advisors were hesitant to use this or didn't see the use, and you said that you could convince them. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that? What the journey was and what you would make different maybe next time you introduce a tool like this?
Yeah, well, one of the learning points was also to maybe incorporate the end users from the very beginning. And it was very good example also from Hassan. You had like these ambassadors. So in the future, we could maybe incorporate these people who will understand the model from the beginning and be a part of developing it. And they can be also our, let's say, in our regions, those people who can help to distribute the knowledge and maybe be a little bit marketing side also to use these new things. So I think this is crucial to really have these end users from the beginning together with the team.
Thank you very much. And again, I encourage you to ask questions. You can put them in the chat. I will take them at the end of this presentation phase. And with that said, we come to our third presentation, a Korean company called WantedLab. And WantedLab is a HR tech company. And the presenter will be the the head of the business at the company, Dr. Myung-Hoon Yoon. Dr. Yoon has a PhD in human resource development. He's adjunct and visiting professor at the Chang'an University, the Gashon University, and the Seoul School of Integrated Science and Technologies. Formerly, he worked in HR and digital transformation at Coupang Hyundai Department Store Group. And he's also the author of several books, AI in Employee Experience, AI in Talent Acquisition, and Rise of People Analysts. So a full expert in the field from different sides. Dr. Yoon, please, the floor is yours. We cannot hear you yet. We can see the presentation, but we cannot hear you.
네, 반갑습니다. 이렇게 많은 분들 앞에서 이렇게 발표할 기회를 얻게 돼서 저도 굉장히 설레고 영광입니다. 원티드랩에 대해서 먼저 좀 설명을 드리겠습니다. 원티드랩은 2015년에 처음 만들어진 회사고요. 저희는 사실 굉장히 빠르게 성장한 회사이고, 저희는 크게 저희의 이제 역사를 플랫폼의 시대, AI 시대, 그리고 지금은 AX 시대 이렇게 세 개로 나눠서 보고 있습니다. 2015년에 원티드랩은 단순한 채용 서비스가 아니라 이 사람과 기회를 어떻게 잘 연결할까라는 질문에서 출발했고, 추천 기반 채용이라는 당시에는 시장이 없던 새로운 방식을 플랫폼에 내놓았습니다. 그 결과 단 1년 만에 상도 수여하면서 성과를 거두게 됩니다. 이후에 원티드랩은 플랫폼을 넘어서 AI로 진화하는 단계가 되었는데요. 그래서 2017년에 우리는 단순한 매칭이 아니라 채용 성공 데이터에 기반한 AI 매칭이라는 새로운 기준을 제시했고, 여러 가지 또 좋은 상에 선정도 되면서 2021년에는 이제 스타트업에 이제 이름을 올리고 마침내 코스닥 상장이라는 좀 중요한 이정표를 세우게 되었습니다. 그리고 지금 원티드랩은 이제 AI를 사용하는 기업이 아니라 AX, 그러니까 AI 전환을 이끄는 플랫폼 기업으로 좀 변신을 하고 있습니다. 2023년에 젠 AI 기반의 이제 AX 플랫폼을 출시했고, 현재는 200개가 넘는 AI 에이전트를 실제로 회사 그 서비스와 또 내부의 운영 효율에 좀 사용을 하고 있습니다. 2025년에는 뭐 정부기관과 현대모비스 등 정부와 이제 대기업 프로젝트에도 저희 플랫폼을 사용하기 시작했고, 최근에는 샌프란시스코에서 글로벌 PMF 검증을 해보면서 좀 글로벌 사업으로도 확장을 꿈꾸고 있습니다. 원티드랩은 이제 채용뿐만 아니라 글로벌 브릿지 그리고 AX 투자 이렇게 모두 좀 연결된 구조의 포트폴리오를 가지고 있습니다. 먼저 가장 기반이 되는 사업은 AI 기반의 채용 서비스입니다. 현재 원티드 플랫폼에는 한 360만 명 이상의 DX, AX 인재들이 있고 한 3만 5천 개 이상의 기업이 연결되어 있습니다. 그리고 이 숫자가 의미하는 것은 단순히 볼륨을 의미하는 것이 아니라 실제로 AI 매칭을 통해서 이들이 이제 채용 속도를 평균 70% 이상 단축하고 있습니다. 이 말은 곧 기업 입장에서는 채용 리드 타임이 감소돼서 그만큼 사업의 속도를 좀 가속화할 수 있다. 그리고 인재 입장에서는 탐색 비용이 많이 감소되고 있습니다. 두 번째는 글로벌 브릿지, 그러니까 글로벌 인재 연결 모델입니다. 현재는 한국과 일본의 이 바이링구얼 인재를 중심으로 글로벌 채용을 지원하고 있습니다. 특히 일본은 뭐 고령화나 DX 인력 부족이나 스타트업 인재 유입 같은 이 필요성들이 있어서 저희가 좀 글로벌 브릿지의 첫 번째 교두보로 삼고 있습니다. 세 번째로는 이 엔터프라이즈 AX 솔루션을 공급하고 있는데요. 현재 원티드의 AX 솔루션은 약 80% 정도를 사전에 구축된 모듈 기반으로 구성이 되어 있어서 현업 담당자들이 손쉽게 최소한의 이 개발 도움을 받아서 AI 에이전트를 만들어서 운영할 수 있는 그러한 솔루션을 갖추고 있습니다. 마지막으로 저희는 이 AX 그리고 HR 생태계를 만드는 전략으로 이 AX와 HR 중심의 스타트업 투자를 하고 있고 현재 누적 운영 자산은 한 6천만 달러 정도 됩니다. 그래서 저희의 투자 방향은 단순한 IT 스타트업이 아니라 AX, HR, 테크, AI 기반 뭐 이런 기업들에 좀 투자를 하고 있습니다. 그러니까 저희가 직접 만들지 않는 혁신도 저희가 생태계 안에서 함께 성장시키겠다라는 생각을 가지고 있습니다. 먼저 저희의 AI 시대, AI의 히스토리를 먼저 좀 설명을 드리겠습니다. 저희가 이제 한국 시장에 좀 조사를 해봤었는데, 원래 한국 시장은 전통적으로 이 잣보딩 광고 시장이 강했습니다. 그런데 이제 기업들한테 물어보니까 현재 기업들이 가장 많이 사용하는 채용 채널은 채용 광고입니다. 무려 한 64%, 압도적으로 1위이죠. 왜냐하면 가장 쉽고 익숙하고 빠르기 때문에 그렇습니다. 그런데 오른쪽 질문을 보시면 좀 상황이 완전히 바뀌게 됩니다. 가장 선호하는 채용 채널 1위가 매칭입니다. 그러니까 광고는 65%나 사용하지만 선호도는 결국 15% 정도에 불과하죠. 그러니까 이 말은 곧 광고는 어쩔 수 없이 쓰는 이제 수단에 가깝고 매칭이 가장 이상적인 채용 방식이라는 뜻입니다. 그래서 저희는 이 간극에서 좀 기업이 원하지 않는 방식으로 원하지 않는 리스크를 감수하면서 채용하고 있다고 판단해서 저희는 이런 채용의 미스매치를 줄이기 위해서 매칭 기반의 채용 솔루션을 시장에 내놓게 되었습니다. 그리고 처음은 이 신뢰 기반한 어떤 추천 기반한 서비스로 시작이 되었고요. 그러니까 기존 채용 시장은 이러한 구조를 가지고 있었습니다. 채용이 되든 안 되든 일단 채용 광고비를 지불해서 이 선불로 발생이 되죠. 그러니까 기업 입장에서는 왜 사람이 안 뽑혀도 돈을 내야 되는가라는 이런 불만이 있었습니다. 바로 이 질문에 출발한 것이 원티드랩의 이게 페이퍼 하이어 채용 성공 모델이고요. 기업은 보상금을 걸고 채용 공고를 등록합니다. 이 사람을 뽑으면 얼마를 주겠다는 약속을 설정하는데요. 이 보상금은 원티드에서 지불합니다. 그리고 이게 추천 네트워크를 통해서 예를 들어서 개발자가 개발자를 추천하고 실무자가 실무자를 추천하는 이런 신뢰 기반의 채용 구조를 만들게 됩니다. 그래서 만약 채용이 실패하면 기업은 한 푼도 내지 않고 채용이 성공하면 그때만 수수료를 내게 되는데요. 이 헤드헌팅 대비 좀 절반 이하의 낮은 수수료를 내면서 기업 입장에서는 비용 줄고 리스크가 사라지고 성과가 좀 유지되는 구조라고 보시면 될 것 같습니다. 채용이 끝났다고 끝이 아니라 이제 수습기간이라는 게 존재하는데요. 한국은 보통 3개월 정도의 수습기간을 가지고 있습니다. 그래서 수습기간까지 잘 종료가 되면 원티드는 이 후보자에게 $500 정도의 보상을 제공하고 역시 추천인도 $500의 보상을 제공하는 형태로 이 채용 성공 모델을 처음에 만들게 되었습니다. 그래서 이 모델이 지금은 많은 채용 플랫폼에서 좀 따라하고 있는 일종의 산업 표준 모델처럼 발전이 되었습니다. 이 채용 공고를 노출하는 방식이 변화하였는데요. 기존의 채용 플랫폼은 어떤 조건에 대한 필터링, 키워드 검색, 최신순의 정렬, 인기순 추천 이런 것들이 많았습니다. 하지만 원티드의 AI 매칭은 이 과거 데이터를 통해서 어떤 예측된 AI 스코어로 추천을 해주고 있습니다. 이력서, 직무 요구 조건, 기업 특성, 과거의 채용 성공 데이터 이런 것들을 종합해서 우리가 성공할 확률을 좀 수치로 표현하고 AI 스코어로 이렇게 나타내게 됩니다. 그래서 지원자는 불필요한 지원을 줄이고 기업은 불필요한 검토를 줄이면서 좀 효율적인 채용을 유도하게 되었고요. 다른 이제 기업들이 우리도 데이터가 많다라고 이야기하지만 원티드는 보시는 것처럼 이 방문 클릭에서 끝나는 잡포털이 아니라 합격까지의 데이터, 모든 퍼널의 데이터를 가지고 있기 때문에 실제로 저희가 좀 더 정확한 예측 모델을 가져갈 수 있었습니다. 그리고 실제로 저희가 내부 데이터를 통해 봤을 때 일반적인 채용 지원의 성공 합격률은 6% 정도 되고 AI 추천 기반의 채용 성공률이 한 24% 정도 됩니다. 정확히 4배가 차이 나는 거죠. 그 이야기는 다시 말하면 같은 채용 공고로 4배 더 정확한 채용이 가능하고, 인재 입장에서는 좀 비효율적인 지원을 75% 이상 줄일 수 있다라는 의미로 생각해 볼 수 있습니다. 저도 오늘 이제 다른 분들의 발표를 들으면서 이 채용에 대해서 좀 사회적 의미도 생각을 해보게 되었는데요. 원티드랩은 고려대학교랑 한번 2019년부터 2022년까지 약 49만 명의 구직자, 6,500개의 기업, 그리고 300만 건이 넘는 실제 지원 데이터를 분석을 해봤습니다. 여기서 좀 재밌었던 점은 아까 말씀드렸던 어떤 채용의 효율성뿐만 아니라 좀 스타트업, 소규모 기업에 대해서 후보자들의 좀 구직 활동이 AI 스코어로 인해서 좀 증가했다는 점입니다. 그리고 저학력자의 합격률도 상승했고 여성 지원자 경우 특히 지원 건수와 합격률 모두 좀 큰 폭의 개선을 보였습니다. 그러니까 AI 기술이 단순히 효율화를 넘어서 좀 지원자의 구직 동기를 자극하고 어떤 채용 시장의 구조적 편향을 완화할 수 있는 도구가 될 수 있다라는 내부의 연구 결과를 얻을 수 있었습니다. 아까 말씀드린 대로 원티드랩은 이제 AX 플랫폼으로 진화하고 있는데요. 그러니까 많은 기업들이 AI를 좀 도입하고 있는데 원티드랩은 이 플랫폼을 고객보다 좀 먼저 우리 스스로 좀 써보기 위해서 만들었고요. 그래서 실제 원티드의 내부 실제 업무들 이 운영을 AX 플랫폼 위에서 돌리기 시작했습니다. 그러니까 고객에게 팔기 전에 먼저 스스로 AX 조직을 만들어서 실제로 써보면서 조직에 이 AX가 어떻게 스며드는지 좀 살펴보았습니다. 그래서 단순히 챗봇 하나, API 하나 붙이고 이런 구조가 아니라 실제 업무 흐름 전체가 AI 에이전트가 담당하도록 저희가 좀 내부적으로 설계를 해 나가고 있고요. 그래서 실제로 기술 과시가 아니라 저희 내부적으로도 시간과 비용을 절감하는 데 집중하고 있습니다. 이를 바탕으로 출시된 서비스들이 먼저 커리어 에이전트를 소개해 드리겠습니다. 커리어 에이전트는 단순히 추천이 아니라, 그러니까 잘 맞는 직업을 추천해 주는 게 아니라 이 구직자의 커리어를 진단하고 전략을 수립해 줍니다. 그래서 이력서를 읽고 경력을 해석하고 역량을 수치로 분석하고 연봉 수준을 시장 데이터로 재평가해서 맞춤형 커리어 전략을 제안하게 됩니다. 그러니까 사실 저희가 하지 않았던 좀 더 후보자 입장에서 그 앞에 퍼널에 대해서 저희가 조금 더 지원을 해줄 수 있게 되었습니다. 그래서 커리어 에이전트는 뭐 이직하세요라고 단순하게 말하는 게 아니라 당신의 이력 기준이나 이 선택의 성공 확률을 토대로 어떤 결정을 할 수 있는지 여러 가지 가능성을 열어두게 됩니다. 두 번째로는 이력서 코칭 에이전트를 소개해 드릴 수 있는데요. 사용자가 이력서를 업로드하면 이 에이전트는 경력이나 프로젝트 스킬 구조를 자동 분석하고 단순히 첨삭이 아니라 지원하려는 목표 직무와 기업 유형, 그리고 실제 데이터를 기준으로 합격 가능성이 높은 방식으로 다시 이력서를 작성을 도와줍니다. 예를 들어서 같은 디자이너 이력서라도 주니어가 지원하는 용도, 시니어 리드의 포지션 용도, 대기업용, 스타트업용 모두 좀 다르게 코칭을 해볼 수 있습니다. 이렇게 할 수 있는 건 저희가 바로 이 합격 이력서를 충분히 가지고 있고, 아까 말씀드렸던 것처럼 그 채용에 있어서 마지막 퍼널까지 데이터를 가지고 있기 때문에 이 부분을 좀 더 정확하게 준비를 해볼 수 있었습니다. 그리고 이 하이어링 에이전트는 이 대기업보다 좀 SMB 기업들이 특히 좋아하는 서비스입니다. SMB 기업의 채용 현실은 대부분 비슷한데요. 전담 리크루터가 없거나 한 명의 인사 담당자가 채용부터 온보딩, 노무, 총무까지 인사 전반을 담당하는 구조입니다. 그래서 채용에서 사람을 찾을 시간도 없고 좋은 후보자를 필터링할 여력도 없다고 이야기하는데요. 그래서 저희는 이 SMB 기업들이 채용에 쓸 시간, 사람을 검증할 전문성, 헤드헌팅 비용, 이 세 가지의 좀 불편함을 해소하기 위해서 자연어로 기업 담당자가 특정 포지션이나 찾는 사람에 대해 정보를 입력하면 즉시 인재풀을 리서치해서 가장 요건에 가까운 후보자를 리스트업해서 알려줍니다. 또 뿐만 아니라 그런 후보자를 자동으로 제안해서 이 후보자들이 지원할 수 있게 유도하는 것까지 지원을 하고 있습니다. 그러니까 아까 말씀드렸던 어떤 채용 속도, 내지는 또 비용 절감, 또 채용 전문성에 대한 보완, 이런 요소들을 도와주고 있는 것이죠. 원티드 X 플랫폼은 아까 설명드린 대로 외부 고객만을 위한 플랫폼이 아니라 내부의 운영 문제와 고객사의 실무 문제를 동시에 해결합니다. 첫 번째로는 이 검색과 이 분석 에이전트를 통해서 내부 DB를 기반으로 고객 응대용 챗봇, 헬프데스크, 사내 지식 분석, 시장 트렌드 분석 같은 것을 자동으로 하고 있습니다. 그리고 전사 공통 업무를 처리하는 에이전트를 보유하고 있어서 영업, 마케팅, 약관 라벨링 등 다양한 부서마다 중복되던 정형 업무를 AI가 통합해서 처리하고 있습니다. 마지막으로 이 버티컬 에이전트가 아까 말씀드렸던 이 채용 에이전트, 후보자 검색이나 스크리닝이나 이런 것들을 예시로 들 수 있을 거고요. 그래서 저희는 지금은 채용 서비스에 기반하지만 사실 이런 운영 효율화의 에이전트도 점 확장해서 고객에게 제공할 계획을 가지고 있습니다. 저희가 제일 많이 좀 좋아하는 내부용 에이전트는 데이터볼트라는 에이전트인데요. 이 원티드의 내부 구성원들은 다들 데이터 분석 역량을 가지고 있는데, 그러다 보니까 이 사내의 데이터베이스에 접근해서 SQL로 실시간 조회하고 이런 것들을 좀 잘 도와주기 위해서 자연어를 치면 자동스럽게 자동으로 쿼리문이 생성될 수 있도록 하는 에이전트와 또 사내 지식 검색이나 여러 문서들에 결합돼서 좀 실시간으로 조회하고 데이터를 확인해 볼 수 있습니다. 또 이렇게 만들어진 결과는 내부 커뮤니케이션, 또 외부 커뮤니케이션 할 수 있는 툴로 연결이 돼서 저희가 좀 제일 애용하고 있는 에이전트입니다. 검증 에이전트는 이 원티드를 쓰는 고객들로부터 또 신뢰가 굉장히 중요한데요. 원티드에는 매년 새로 등록되는 5,000개 이상의 기업이 있고 7만 개 이상의 채용 포지션이 있습니다. 특히 최근처럼 좀 이렇게 채용 공고처럼 이렇게 올리고 사실은 범죄에 악용되는 사건들이 국내에도 최근에 발생한 적이 있었는데 이런 것들을 자동으로 리뷰하고 스크리닝하는 에이전트입니다. 그래서 지금은 채용 공고의 1차 검증을 AI가 실시간으로 처리할 수 있고, 그래서 어떤 사기 유형이나 또는 이런 것들을 좀 더 엄밀하게 보고 해외 법인 공고가 있을 때는 추가서를 검증하다든지 다양한 검증 기준이 실시간으로 반영되게 됩니다. 그래서 이 덕분에 원티드는 대규모의 트래픽과 채용 공고 등록 속에서도 어떤 채용 정보의 품질과 안전성을 동시에 유지할 수 있습니다. 네, 마무리하겠습니다. 원티드는 빠르게 성장한 스타트업이고요. 특히 데이터가 연결을 만든다는 것에 저희도 굉장히 의미가 있었던 시간이었습니다. 그런데 이 AI 도입을 통해서 조금 이렇게 좀 부족했던 구직자와 구인하는 기업의 경험을 완성할 수 있다는 것을 최근 많이 느끼고 있고요. 그래서 원티드는 단순히 공고를 연결하는 채용 플랫폼이 아니라 사람과 기회, 그리고 기업과 인재, 데이터와 의사결정을 연결하는 회사로 더 성장하기를 기대하고 있습니다. 그래서 앞으로는 저희가 뭐 조직의 업무를 에이전트로 전환하는 것까지 사업 확장을 고려하고 있다는 점을 다시 한번 말씀드리고, 혹시 또 이야기를 나누고 싶은 기업이나 담당자분께서는 이 메일로 연락을 주셔도 좋겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you, Dr. Yoon, for this detailed overview. It's very interesting. I found many things interesting. We don't have the time to discuss all of them, but one aspect that stands out for me is that you said matching is the preferred recruitment channel right now. So things are being automated. It's not only that it's automated because it can be automated, but because your clients require it. And if it's done well, it can also empower clients. But I was thinking that all this depends very strongly on the data quality that is driving this. So my question to you, if I can very quickly, is how difficult is it for you to keep the data quality high?
네, 말씀하신 대로 저희의 한국에 있는 다른 채용회사에서 이 모델을 쉽게 따라할 수 없는 이유가 바로 합격까지의 충분한 데이터 양을 확보하는 게 어렵기 때문입니다. 저희는 실제로 기업에 이 사람이 합격이 되었는지 또 3개월이 지나서도 근속을 하고 있는지를 모두 트래킹하고 있습니다. 그러다 보니까 실제 어떤 사람이 어떻게 지원을 하고 어떻게 합격했는지를 가지고 있고, 특히 또 이력서의 품질을 높이기 위해서 굉장히 오랜 시간 노력을 해왔습니다. 동시에 역시 또 데이터가 좋기 위해서 구인 공고의 품질을 높이기 위해서도 굉장히 오랜 시간 노력을 해왔습니다. 그래서 이런 여러 가지가 같이 준비가 돼야 저희가 합격 데이터에서, 그러니까 매칭 데이터에 있어서 오류 없이 그 알고리즘을 잘 준비할 수 있는 것 같습니다.
Thank you very much. We're coming to the last presentation of this phase, and that's by the host, by the Korean Employment Information Service, KEIS. In Sung-cho serves as a head of AI Employment Services Division and is leading the development and implementation of, of job matching services that are based on machine learning. And so we will see insights of what the host is doing in that space. Mr. Cho, please. The floor is yours.
네, 방금 소개받은 한국고용정보원의 AI 고용수업팀의 조인성입니다. 혹시 화면이 보이시나요?
Yes, we can see your screen, but it's not in the presentation mode, I believe. No, it's gone.
네.
Yes.
이제 됐나요? 오늘
Yes, we
한국고용정보원의
can see your
AI
screen
수업,
well.
네, 오케이. 오늘 한국고용정보원의 AI 고용 서비스 개발 과정들을 소개하도록 하겠습니다. 무엇보다 앞서서 발표하신 모든 분들의 이야기를 들으면서 많은 통찰과 감명을 받았다는 것입니다. 저희 사례를 통해서도 여러분들이 좋은 인상과 감명을 받길 원합니다. 먼저 순서는 다음과 같습니다. 한국의 디지털 고용 서비스의 방향을 먼저 설명하도록 하겠습니다. 두 번째로 데이터와 AI를 기반으로 한 저희의 서비스들을 소개하도록 하겠습니다. 다음으로 저희의 비전을 소개함으로 발표를 마치도록 하겠습니다. 먼저 한국은 오래전부터 많은 데이터들을 쌓고 있었습니다. 그러한 많은 데이터들을 어떻게 하면 관리하고 활용성을 높일 것인가에 대한 고민들을 많이 하고 있었습니다. 그러던 중 저희가 2018년에 저희가 갖고 있던 모든 데이터를 통합하고 연계하여 데이터의 활용성을 높일 수 있도록 국가 일자리 정보 플랫폼을 구축하게 되었습니다. 이러한 국가 일자리 정보 플랫폼을 바탕으로 빅데이터와 AI를 기반으로 한 일자리 추천과 일자리 매칭, 잡케어까지 이르게 되었습니다. 또한 이러한 데이터를 바탕으로 서비스를 통합하기에 이르렀습니다. 그렇게 서비스를 통합한 플랫폼으로 고용24라는 것을 개발하게 되었습니다. 기존에는 한국에서 보유하고 있던 각각의 고용 서비스들을 사용자들이 접속해서 이용했다고 하면, 현재는 고용24에만 접속한다고 하면 한국에 있는 모든 공공 고용 서비스를 이용할 수 있도록 설계되어 있습니다. 다음은 국가 일자리 정보 플랫폼에 대한 구성입니다. 국가 일자리 정보 플랫폼은 앞서 보이는 화면과 같이 마스터 데이터베이스와 각종 데이터들이 연계되는 인터페이스 DB로 나눠지고 있습니다. 인터페이스 DB는 저희가 보유하고 있는 모든 데이터와 외부에 있는 모든 데이터를 통합하고 연계하는 과정을 거칩니다. 그리고 마스터 데이터베이스로 재구조화되어 통합된 정보를 제공하는 구조로 되어 있습니다. 이러한 통합된 데이터는 앞서 말씀드린 것처럼 데이터 기반의 일자리 추천, 또한 잡케어 같은 AI 서비스들을 제공하는 데 활용되고 있습니다. 다음입니다. 국가 일자리 정보 플랫폼의 데이터 구조는 다음과 같습니다. 먼저 개인과 기업, 서비스로 나눌 수가 있습니다. 개인은 개인과 관련되어 있는 고용보험의 취득 이력이나 직업훈련 이력, 구직활동 이력 등을 확인할 수가 있고, 기업과 관련해서는 기업의 기업 장려금에 대한 수혜 이력, 그리고 국세청의 기업 정보들을 통합하여 관리하고 있습니다. 더불어서 각 고용 정책과 관련된 수혜 이력들을 연계해서 정보를 제공하고 있는 서비스 정보가 있습니다. 이러한 정보를 바탕으로 저희가 일자리 추천과 일자리 매칭 서비스를 개발하여 운영하고 있습니다. 먼저 개인의 행동을 기반으로 한 일자리 매칭 서비스가 있습니다. 개인의 입사 지원이나 일자리를 보거나 또는 일자리를 북마크한 경우 이러한 데이터를 바탕으로 일자리를 추천하는 개념입니다. 예를 들어 동일한 일자리를 본 그룹들이 있다고 하면 그 그룹 안에서 내가 보지 못한 일자리를 추천하여 일자리 기회를 높여주는 서비스라고 말할 수 있겠습니다. 다음으로는 직무 역량을 매칭하는 일자리 매칭 서비스가 있습니다. 직무 역량을 분석하고 그 직무 역량을 분석한 것을 기반으로 일자리와 인재를 연결하는 개념입니다. 이 서비스를 개발하기 위해서 저희는 딥러닝과 같은 모델을 개발하였고, 더불어서 온톨로지와 같은 기술을 이용해서 개인의 이력서에서 키워드를 분석하고 어떤 직무 역량에 해당되는지를 분석하는 도구로 활용하고 있습니다. 이렇게 온톨로지를 기반으로 이력서의 보유 직무 역량과 기업에 요구하는 역량들을 분석한 후에 연결하는 개념이 직무 기반의 일자리 매칭 서비스라고 말할 수 있겠습니다. 이러한 일자리 매칭 서비스는 앞서 말씀드린 고용24에서 통합적으로 정보를 제공하고 있습니다. 다음은 잡케어 서비스입니다. 잡케어 서비스는 모든 국민이 생애 경력 개발 단계에 걸쳐서 어떤 정보들이 필요하고 어떤 정보들을 이용해서 경력 설계를 할 수 있도록 저희가 정보를 제공하는 서비스를 구축하였습니다. 이와 같은 잡케어 서비스를 이용해서 국민들은 스스로 경력 설계를 할 수 있도록 하고 있는데요. 최근에 AI 기술과 빅데이터 기술을 기반으로 해서 많은 변화가 일어나고 있습니다. 이러한 변화 속에는 국민들 한 사람 한 사람이 경력 설계를 하는데 많은 어려움을 겪고 있다는 것을 반증하고 있습니다. 이러한 국민들의 그 경력 설계를 돕자는 의미에서 잡케어 서비스가 개발되게 되었습니다. 잡케어 서비스는 초중고 그리고 사회 초년생인 대학 졸업자 그리고 구직자 그다음에 재취업을 희망하는 중고령자까지 포괄하고 있습니다. 하지만 현재 주요 대상으로는 구직자와 재취업자 그리고 대학을 졸업한 사회 초년생들이 중심이 되고 있습니다. 먼저는 개인의 역량을 분석하고 그 역량에서 그 역량을 기반으로 일자리를 추천하는 개념이 들어 있고요. 더불어서 내가 선택한 직업과 나의 보유 역량 간의 갭을 분석해서 부족한 역량들을 향상시킬 수 있도록 직업 자격과 직업 훈련을 추천하도록 되어 있습니다. 더불어서 선택한 직업에 각종 노동시장 정보를 제공함으로써 내가 선택한 직종에서의 임금 수준이라든지 필요한 자격, 필요한 훈련 등을 한눈에 파악할 수 있도록 구조화되어 있습니다. 잡케어 서비스는 두 가지 버전으로 되어 있습니다. 먼저는 상담사를 위한 상담사용 잡케어 서비스가 있습니다. 그리고 대국민을 위한 대국민 잡케어 서비스가 있습니다. 두 개의 그 버전은 동일한 컨텐츠를 제공하지만 기능적으로는 차이가 있습니다. 먼저 대국민 잡케어는 국민이 스스로 경력 설계를 할 수 있도록 저희가 정보를 제공하고 스스로 판단할 수 있도록 판단할 수 있도록 도와주고 있습니다. 하지만 국민 한 사람이 모든 것을 저희가 제공한 정보들을 모든 것을 이해하기 어렵기 때문에 상담이 필요한 경우는 상담용 잡케어와 연계하여 상담을 받을 수 있도록 구조화되어 있습니다. 더불어서 상담용 잡케어는 대국민 잡케어와 달리 상담사가 필요한 상담에 관련된 정보들을 더 많이 제공하고 있습니다. 예를 들어서 직종과 관련된 직종을 설명한다든지 직종과 관련된 다양한 정보들을 추가적으로 제공하고 있습니다. 다음 화면은 잡케어 서비스의 화면입니다. 잡케어 서비스는 크게 고객 정보를 다루는 커스터마이즈된 스크린이 있고요. 또한 그 노동시장의 정보를 제공하는 화면, 그리고 추천 정보를 제공한 화면으로 되어 있습니다. 그 맞춤형 화면의 경우는 내담자의 정보를 한눈에 볼 수 있도록 내담자의 이력과 또 심리검사 결과, 6개월 내 취업 확률 등을 제공하고 있고, 취업 확률의 경우는 취업 확률이 낮은 경우 낮은 이유에 대한 설명과 함께 부족한 능력을 갖출 수 있도록 제안을 하는 정보들을 제공하고 있습니다. 더불어서 내담자의 경력 사항들을 확인할 수 있도록 경력과 관련된 정보들을 함께 제공하고 있습니다. 노동시장 정보의 경우는 임금, 자격, 훈련, 더불어서 그 고용보험의 데이터들을 분석을 해서 고용보험을 통한 취득 상실 정보들을 함께 제공함으로써 직업의 향후 트렌드와 현황들을 파악할 수 있도록 되어 있습니다. 마지막으로 추천 정보는 일자리와 자격 훈련 등을 제공함으로써 구직자가 어떤 일자리를 선택할 수 있도록 도와주고 있습니다. 더불어서 저희는 일 경험 등 사회초년생들이 경력이 없는 그 사회초년생들을 도와주기에 일 경험 등을 추천하는 것들을 향후 계획하고 있습니다. 다음은 대국민 잡케어 화면입니다. 대국민 잡케어 화면은 앞서 그 상담용 잡케어와 유사한 컨텐츠를 갖고 있지만 국민이 쉽게 사용할 수 있도록 구성되어 있습니다. 예를 들어서 모바일이나 PC에 모든 그 디바이스에도 활용할 수 있도록 반응형 디자인이 설계되어 있습니다. 더불어서 관심 있는 그 직업 설계서들을 생성하고 관리할 수 있도록 구조화되어 있습니다. 다음은 현재 진행 중이거나 또는 앞으로 할 7개 AI 프로젝트를 진행하고 있습니다. 앞서 잡케어와 AI 일자리 매칭을 통해서 AI 기술들을 써왔지만 최근에 생성형 AI 기술들을 활용해서 많은 것들을 이제 사용자에게 도움을 줄 수 있다라고 저희는 판단하고 있고 사용자들이 가장 필요로 하는 서비스를 7개 과제를 발굴하여서 저희가 진행하고 있습니다. 먼저 그 기업을 대상으로 하는 서비스 3가지와 그리고 구직자를 대상으로 하는 서비스 3가지 그리고 인재 추천이라는 매칭 서비스를 개발하고 있습니다. 현재 기업과 관련돼서 구인 공고 자동 작성 지원 서비스의 경우는 올해 저희가 시범 서비스를 운영하고 현재 그 국민들에게도 제공함으로써 많은 이용을 하고 있습니다. 더불어서 취업 확률과 그리고 구인 공고 AI 검증 그리고 기업 쪽의 채용 확률 등을 저희가 제공하는 것들을 개발하고 있습니다. 다음은 고용센터에서 AI 에이전트를 이용해서 상담을 도와줄 수 있는 서비스를 저희가 시범적으로 운영하고 있습니다. 보시는 화면은 오픈 AI의 파운데이션 모델인 GPT OSS 120B를 활용해서 저희가 잡케어에 탑재된 AI 에이전트 서비스를 시연하고 있습니다. 이 서비스는 원래 한글로 제공하고 있지만 제가 영어로 답변을 할 수 있도록 요청을 했고 앞서 보이시는 화면은 영어로 이제 답변하는 것들을 확인하실 수가 있습니다. 저희가 이러한 그 자체 파운데이션 모델을 바탕으로 자체 AI 에이전트를 개발하는 이유는 제미나이나 그 오픈 AI의 챗GPT와 같은 외부의 GPT 기술들을 저희가 내부적으로 쓸 수가 없습니다. 보안상 저희가 쓸 수 없는 상황이어서 이러한 것들을 내부의 그 상담사들이 잘 활용할 수 있도록 이러한 기술들을 적극 도입하고 서비스를 만들어가고 있습니다. 마지막으로 저희는 이러한 최근에 AI 기술들을 이용해서 사용자의 편의성과 사용자의 이용을 돕기 위해 저희는 원스톱 맞춤형 서비스를 지향하고 있습니다. 더불어서 벨기에 사례에서도 말씀하셨지만 저희가 만드는 AI 기술들이 책임감 있게 활용될 수 있도록 AI 거버넌스 체계들을 구축해 나가려고 하고 있습니다. 내일 저희는 AI 윤리 원칙을 선포할 예정입니다. 이걸 바탕으로 AI를 좀 더 안전하고 좀 더 신뢰할 수 있는 AI로 만들어 가기 위해 노력할 것입니다. 지금까지 한국고용정보원의 AI 서비스를 소개했습니다. 앞으로 많은 것들을 기대하고 앞으로 나아갈 것을 예상하고 있습니다. 관련하여 많은 것들을 교류할 수 있는 시간이 되었으면 좋겠습니다. 네, 감사합니다.
Thank you very much for this comprehensive overview. I think KEIS is a great example for a public employment service or an organization that is not jumping the AI bandwagon, but has been preparing this for very long. You have a very solid foundation for working with advanced technology and for managing processes, from behavioral insights to taxonomies through all the data that flows in. And also the employer engagement, I think, is great and a very, very substantial part of developing the experience for job seekers and employers, also in a digital way. Before we get the bird's eye view of the International Labour Organization and get into the panel discussion with this, I would like to take a round of questions coming from the floor. Maybe I can start with the presentation from Triin. Quite a few questions. Let me take two for the moment. The question to you, Triin, is: can every counselor see a dashboard of OTT, or are there certain teams that cannot see it? That will be the first question. And the second question is, how do you explain the drivers or reasons for the score that has been generated to the counselors?
Yes, so each counselor will see the results of their own clients, and the team leader will see their team results. So we have limited the access to the results. And the second question, if I understood correctly, that we train our counselors to understand and to interpret the results and to understand also why one factor increases or decreases these probabilities. So we have extensive trainings for the counselors to help them to understand the results that the model provides.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you. I'll come back to you. There's a question for WantedLab. How difficult or time-consuming is the deployment of the AI agents that you mentioned in your presentation?
네, 사실 이게 하나로 딱 설명드리기엔 좀 어려운 질문입니다. 왜냐하면 예를 들어서 100점의 이제 완성도가 있을 때 한 80점 정도에 배포하는 것은 사실 그게 그렇게 어렵진 않습니다. 그런데 저희가 고객에게 이제 제공하는 서비스는 조금 더 기준이 높은 것이고, 근데 80에서 90에 가는 것까지는 사실 시간이 좀 걸립니다. 그것은 아까도 질문 주셨지만 데이터에 이슈가 있을 수도 있고, 또는 고객이 선호하는 UX의 문제가 있을 수도 있어서요. 그래서 지금 저희가 빠르게, 그러니까 1에서 80까지는 빠르게 만들 수 있지만 그 이후의 완성도를 높이는 일은 조금은 난이도가 있다고 생각합니다.
Thank you. And then a question to our first speaker from WantedLab, Hassan. The question to you is, how do you measure the real impact of generative AI tools on job seekers' outcomes and not just the internal efficiency within your PES?
It's a great question where I can not give you the full answer because together with R&D and AI Center of Excellence, we are trying to, it's under development, trying to put a general assessment, return on investment on each, and the impact, measuring impact on each AI system that we have deployed. But on every individual AI system, we have metrics and KPIs that we measure the use, and that will help us. That helps us actually to improve. For example, for the AI matching suggestion, we have our KPI that we follow on a monthly basis to see what is the click rate, what is the conversion, and that will help us to optimize it. We also have, as I mentioned in the presentation, different courses for our job seekers so that they can start getting introduced by AI development and the trends and how to use it. But the real impact, it is a big task, which is not only for WantedLab, but also other departments in Flanders to help to educate people regarding AI use.
Okay. And a question to Trine again, but I guess that would go also to other speakers, also Keis, for example. I would love to hear your view on that. Is there a risk that that through lower digital literacy or accessibility of certain target groups, they will be excluded from a more digital approach? I guess in your case, Trine, it goes to the tool you're using, but also more general. Which risks do you see in your country and your jurisdictions of excluding people because of digital service?
Well, yes, there is a risk, and actually what is one of our next year's priorities is to focus on these people who have lower digital skills. So this is the focus we will put more emphasis next year and in the coming years. So it's one of our. We will monitor it more closely, and we will have this objective to provide more digital skill trainings to those who are in need. But yeah, generally answering, I think it is a risk that some of the people who don't have digital skills will miss these tools that everyone is now very eagerly developing, and I don't know how to really address it very correctly.
Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you. Dr. Shu, how do you see that from case point of view?
네, 그 부분은 저희도 디지털 취약계층이라고 말할 수 있는 부분들은 고용센터 오프라인 조직인 고용센터를 적극 이용하도록 하는 것이 맞다고 생각이 들고요. 더불어서 최근에 생성형 AI 기술을 이용해서 좀 더 디지털 서비스를 쉽게 이용할 수 있는 환경이 되었다고 생각합니다. 그래서 생성형 AI 기술을 이용해서 기존에 고용입사의 많은 정보들을 쉽게 검색하고 쉽게 이동할 수 있는 구조를 만드는 것이 중요할 거라고 생각이 듭니다.
Thank you very much. If I can share a thought in this context, because discussed a lot that there is a high risk of excluding people with low digital literacy, but on the other hand, the digital tools also can open accessibility for groups that formerly had more issues to access public or employment services in general, for example, people with disabilities. So I think that's also part of the discussion that digital tools, AI in particular, also can open the accessibility of services to new groups. And I think that's also a field to look into. I would like to come to the last part of our webinar today. Thank you to all the speakers for sharing your insights. If there are any questions left in the chat, maybe you want to pick them up directly from the chat, or if you're ready to do that, we're also happy to put you in touch with the speakers to follow up on the discussion. And now I would like to move over to the International Labour Organization, who is with us today. It's Marcelo Cuautle Segovia. I'm saying this with a Spanish accent. I'm not sure that's correct, but I hope so. You're working in the department at the ILO for skills and employability, and you have done many things, I believe, from focus on young people, apprenticeships, school to work, public-private partnerships between public and private delivery of employment services. Migration is one of your topics. So I think you have a very broad overview also of how the digital technology is impacting all those fields. And I'd like to invite you to share with us what the International Labour Organization's view is on AI in public employment services, and then we can discuss.
Thank you very much, Mikael. Yes, indeed, I'm in the Employment Policy Department of the ILO, having worked in the topics that you have mentioned, and I'm currently sitting in the unit that works on supporting public employment services, mainly in developing countries. I would like just to mention 4 points that I have, considered very, very insightful from our dear panelists, and their implications for public employment services in developing countries, because of course these are peer learning events. This one generously hosted by KEIS and with the support of WEBs. But of course, many developing countries are looking at what is done at the most advanced public employment services out there. And there is a frequent belief that the integration of AI and previously the integration of digitalization could solve all the challenges that they have. And we have learned today that that is not the case. There's a lot of work done behind the scenes before the actual deployment of AI. So my first point is on the Flemish region PES. And the fact that before fully integrating and recruiting staff to develop AI, they developed a strategy that included very important aspects such as governance, ethics, as well as training for the use of these technologies inside of the PES. So it is very important to be aware that every new technology integration in public employment services should be preceded by a very thoughtful reflection of a strategy, how AI will be used, how it sits in the national legal framework in terms of data use and protection, as well as ethics considerations. The second point is on things that were mentioned by Estonia and by WantedLab company in Korea. It is very interesting to see that AI is more and more able to support employment counselors' jobs, in particular in relation to the probability of hiring and being employed by a company for a job seeker. So basically, what I noticed is that there is a trend of a even greater support from AI to reduce the time that employment counselors need to spend on supporting job seekers when they have the capability of being employed. And that frees up time in terms of what they can do in in-person training. So that is very, very important. And what I noticed from the presentation in Estonia is that they made compulsory for employment counselors to provide feedback on their use on AI. So it's not optional; they have to do it, and this is a very important part on the integration of AI in public employment services, to know how the AI is actually supporting job seekers and also employment counselors' jobs. My next point is specifically on the WantedLab company in Korea. Of course, this is a private company, so it doesn't have a social inclusion mandate, but of course they're doing a great job in supporting more efficient labor markets, which is part also of what the ILO is promoting. So my only observation there, in addition to the great innovation they're doing, is to note to what extent this type of technology that improves labor market efficiency through job placement, and moving away from job advertisement only, can also support social inclusion. So, for example, to what extent can this technology support job seekers that are rated with a probability of being employed and therefore not necessarily recommended to employers? How can this technology support these type of job seekers into the training or into the channels that will allow them to be employed? Finally, for job care presented in KEIS, what I found it really interesting is that job seekers are presented with the option of using AI autonomously to search for jobs and note their extent of employability, but they also have the option of requesting in-person support by a human job counselor. So this greatly depends, of course, on the grade of AI or digital autonomy and literacy that they may have, and that was just recently mentioned by our panelists from Estonia. Now, I want to mention 5 quick implications for developing countries, because as I mentioned, I think that many of them are listening to us. The first one is the need to develop a strategy before integrating artificial intelligence technologies. I have seen in many cases, in many of the countries that we support in the developing world, that they do it the other way around. They integrate a technology, a platform, or digitalize internal processes without having a strategy. And that very often fails. So we always give the message, please develop a strategy, a vision, a mission, as was done in the Flemish region in Belgium. and then we are there to support them. The second point is that, and this was mentioned by all the panelists, magic word, data. AI cannot work without data. That is very clear for everyone. And in many developing countries, they do not have data, or they do not have quality data that would allow AI to do its job, which is, calculating probabilities and all these things. So from the ILO perspective, and part of what we do is supporting developing countries, public employment services, in their data collection, analysis, and use efforts. And that is a stepping stone for the use of AI. The third point is on continuous PES staff training. And something that I learned today is continuous training on AI for job seekers as well, because not everyone knows how to ask the right questions. We've all heard that there are no wrong answers, but wrong questions. And in the case of AI, if we do not know how to ask AI a good question, probably the answer that it will give us will not be great. So training for PES staff and for job seekers is very important. The fourth point is the technology for inclusive labor markets. So we, of course, need to make efficient labor markets. We need to make sure that employers are getting staff and candidates with the skills they need. But we also need to support job seekers who are far from the labor market or less employable in being able to participate in the labor market. So we need to explore the ways in which technology can do this. And my final point is on the human employment counselor intervention, regardless of how advanced AI support is. And that is a lesson that I got from KEIS. They have an extremely sophisticated and developed AI-supported public employment service. But regardless of that, there is always an option to have support from an employment counselor, from a human being. So I'll stop there. I think there is a lot of matter for discussion, and thank you very much again for this space.
Thank you very much, Marcelo. That's a very good overview of this webinar and the topic in general. I have a question for you, if I may, and that is, if you look at skills taxonomies, so the classical ISCO or ESCO in Europe, that has been basically driving matching, profiling for many decades in public employment services, also digitally. But is now, at least from my point of view, disrupted by different ways of assessing skills, but also of analyzing skills gaps. Where do you see this going, or from the projects you have been involved to, or the countries you talk to? Do you think there will be, or is already happening, that taxonomies will be completely different? And where will the international standard be then?
Right. Yes, so we've spoken a lot of how AI can support public employment services, but AI is indeed disrupting the labor market in many ways. One of them is the occupations. So when AI entered the scene, if I may say, many people thought that it would replace many jobs. But what we have observed in the ILO and indeed in many other international organizations is that the occupations themselves are not being replaced. What is being replaced is tasks within the occupations. So the issue here for the international classification of occupations is how the occupations will be described. Because if tasks change, the occupation still exists, but the task is being done in a different way, or maybe done by a machine. So I think that the immediate impact on how occupations will be classified is that there will be a need of doing the classification, if not real time, at least very, very often and systematically, because things are moving fast these days. So I think that is something that public employment services should need to consider, in particular in terms of how they will be supporting employers. Because if employers require someone with for occupation, but the tasks, or at least a great extent of the tasks within that occupation has changed, or will be changed, or will be replaced by a machine, then public employment services need to be ready to support employers in developing profiles that would be relevant for how the jobs are advertised and for how job seekers can actually apply to them and not think that they are not ready to do that. And in terms of the specific occupations and how that is impacting the labor market, I read a very interesting article in how, telling how some young people in the United Kingdom are, moving towards occupations that cannot be replaced by AI. So, for example, people repairing heating systems or air conditioning systems, that cannot be done by ChatGPT or other type of AI. You
Especially not in UK.
Yeah, which has huge implications for TVET systems, of course, because that can be a renewal of TVET systems. So I'll stop there, but indeed we're discussing all of these topics, including for setting international standards currently and in the future.
Thanks a lot. We have a comment or a question from the floor. I think that with the introduction of artificial intelligence, there will be many changes in the field of career counseling. What roles, Marcelo, do you think human career counselors will take on in the future, and what new competencies will be required?
Thank you for the question. Well, if the trend continues showing that AI can automatize many internal processes and free up time of employment counselors, I would say that there are two skills that employment counselors should develop. The first one is their critical thinking and analytical capabilities for what AI generates. Because, of course, we cannot just rely entirely on the output of AI. We have to give a critical view of the output and use our judgment and experience, in this case, to assess the best way to support a job seeker. In terms of my other point is in terms of what we call core skills, or what I like to call person skills. So basically, as you free up time, because you can rely on AI for many things that are part of your job, the idea is to get closer to those job seekers that are further away from the labor market. And these are people who have many labor market related barriers, such as skills mismatches or low qualification or education levels. But they may also have non-labor market barriers as part of the challenges they face, including social issues, childcare responsibilities. We also heard from Korea, I think that they sometimes, or was it Estonia, that they sometimes deal with people who have served some time in prison. So these are non-labor market barriers that only a human being can, support, and that is a very important aspect of the job of employment counselor. So these are the two skills I would say, the capacity of interpreting and having a critical look at the AI outputs, and the other one, developing core skills to serve better job seekers in person.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. I'll ask you a last question before I close the event, and that is that you have been working with public-private partnerships. I've been doing quite a bit in the last years as well, and I see that the topic of advanced technology, using advanced technology, is quite differently developed, depending on whether it's public or private, and also in which countries you look at. Private employment services have an accelerated development in many parts, especially when it comes to recruitment. Public employment services are a little bit more cautious in using it. Where do you see the topic of advanced technology sitting in public-private partnership? Is it going to help the partnership, or is it going to challenge the partnership, or both?
Yeah, thanks for that question. I believe that this is a question that applies to any tool. It will serve its purpose or not, depending on how you use it. So in terms of public-private partnerships, I don't know to what extent they're used in developed PES, because public employment services in advanced countries have relatively high level of resources and staff. So the need to establish partnerships is there, but not as pressing as it is in developing countries. One of the messages we give from the ILO to public employment services in developing countries is that given their low levels of resources and staff, they cannot do everything, so they need partners. Partners, obviously employers, but also other private sector companies, including private recruitment companies, NGOs, and others. So technology can support in facilitating partnerships through, for example, interoperable platforms. And I've seen these in some countries where job seekers databases are shared by both public employment services and private recruitment agencies. But obviously that needs to be under good governance and within the law, as we have repeatedly say, by promoting the Convention 181 of the ILO that regulate private recruitment agencies. So I believe that technology can be a facilitator for the interaction between public and private employment services and other actors in the labor market ecosystem.
Thank you very much, Marcelo. Very insightful. And thanks to all speakers for your insights. I think there's a lot of content. I would like to come to the end of the event. The discussion we just had, I think, also gave a good and comprehensive overview and a conclusion. So I will just try to highlight a couple of the things that I've been hearing throughout this event. One is that the use of advanced technology has a lot to do with trust. A trust that has to be built in the process of establishing it, in the process of coming up with a strategy, and in the process of implementing it, by mainly involving the users, but also the people that are going to use it, so the staff, from early on in the process. We live in a social technological system, and in the last years, the technology sometimes tends to take over in the thinking and in the making of processes. So it's very crucial to keep the humans in the loop and also keep the humans deciding about what's going to happen. And I think this is we saw some good examples of how this can work out well if it's done consequently. There is also, of course, a strong ethical dimension to this. So it's important to have a resonance with values, with national values, with international values, with a legal framework that makes that stronger, but also that resonates with the people. And the data needs to be good. If you have data that is not good, you cannot put AI on it to fix it, but you need data quality. So there needs to be a lot of resources flowing into data quality. AI is maybe at some point going to make things more efficient and save costs. But in the beginning, it will always be an investment into setting up procedures and structures that ensure data quality. And finally, a point that you also made, Marcello, now, partnerships can help with that, but the partnership ecosystem needs to be built, of course, in a non-digital way. It can just be enhanced and facilitated by different tools. And with that said, I'd like to thank you. Thank you for giving me the chance to moderate that. I enjoyed it, and I think there are a lot of very interesting pieces of content here that I would encourage you to continue discussing also among yourselves. We're happy to facilitate the contacts and the presentations, and I'll wish you a very good day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.